My name's Michael Doxey, and I have a company called Vanished Moon Pottery. And essentially, what I do is some wood-fired ceramic pieces in Portland, Ontario, which is a lovely little town on the Rideau. Most of my work is hand throwing, and then once I've done the throwing, the trimming, and making the form, I place it in a kiln that's kind of unique because the kiln is fueled by wood, and the actual act of the firing glazes the pots with the wood ash to finish them off at quite a high temperature, above 1300 degrees Celsius. So a piece like that, made wet off the wheel, might take me under a minute, but to actually get it finished and through the kiln with all the other acts and parts and takes could take over a month with all the other wear.
My name is Jane Eyre. I live in Glenburnie, Ontario. The name of my company is Kismet Clay Designs. Our latest ones are these people here. They're called Shelligans. They're made out of shells. You can see the back of the shell here. Moss is applied to the shell, and then I paint it to give it more of a sea, ocean look about it. Then her face and her hands and her arms and her feet are all sculpted out of polymer clay. This is a piece of coral that I've added on top, and little pieces of little shells in here. And she has a staff that's a removable staff. And that is Janice Shelligan. That's her name.
My mom and I used to walk along the beach where our cottage was and collect beach glass, and she used to tell me these great elaborate stories about how it came from pirate ships and its treasures and worth lots of money because they're treasures. And one day, so I would collect it thinking, it's worth lots of money, and I didn't think it would be this way it would be worth money, but it was fun to play those stories out. This is from my Beach Shook series, so I end up getting a bunch of custom orders of the Beach Shooks, and it's like the Nook Shook, although which is a guiding. It's a guide, but it also shows the strength of teamwork because a Nook Shook is able to stand without anything holding it together other than the support of each rock. In my case, I use a little tiny bit of glue to hold it together, but it's the same concept that the pieces work together, and it's weathered naturally by the water and the waves, and to get this type of smooth feel and look, it's got to be a minimum of 30 years. It's got to be in the water for a minimum of 30 years.
About 2 years ago, I started doing this. First for my wife. She's a teacher at Mulberry School, teaching the younger grades, like morning garden and kindergarten. And there are certain toys, like this one here, are cave blocks. And she was trying to buy these, either online or otherwise, and she couldn't find them anywhere. This kind of stacking block. So I said, hey, I could probably make that. And my friend Amzi, I mentioned to him about making wooden toys, and he was very interested in making wooden toys and getting together and trying this kind of thing. And just kind of started as we make a few toys. He has 4 kids, and they like to play with them as well. And my wife liked them, and then we just gradually started making more and more toys, and here we are.
It's all about having fun in the workshop. So if Brendan enjoys cutting this particular shape out, then he does it. And we talk to each other about the ideas, so it's a lot of 50-50 and back and forth.